serious, we don't play. I wonder now what they gon' say. Shit, we make profits, all the shooters like the NBA. You get slayed for switching sides, nigga, we ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception, these niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch cage. You was never with us, nigga, just know we on mission, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga, left hip hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation, when you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation, when you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation, so no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
He gotta get a man thumbnail where he like doing something, bro. Yeah, flames.
Can you do that though?
Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at? Where the black men that get together by the thousands and say enough is enough? We ain't killing each other no more.
I woke up today in reality, looking at my people and the casualties. Misunderstood for having some morality, but my people dance spirituality. Lord knows, just a young Hebrew from Killer, California. Used to thug in the streets with no sense of order. Used to love to press the line, even test the water, and almost lost my life from slanging and hanging on that corner. I learned to cut the grass so I could see the snakes. I had to decipher between the real and fake. And nowadays all these niggas do is hate, treat you like a bitch, sit back and try to manipulate. Yeah, that's why I got it on my own too. You see me rocking with the Hebrews. UPK is how we do, stand for the Lord. The mother niggas is see-through.
Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at? Where the soldiers at?
Wake your game up, my nigga. Ain't no time for this shit. I know you sitting back thinking that life is a bitch. Yes, my nigga, I understand. My nigga, I feel your pain.
Yeah.
My nigga, we gotta change. This for the king, this for the king.
It's safe to say we curse today, trying to find another way, but all they do is take away. Trying to pray to make a way while trying to find a safer way. Eat so we can face to face. Please, Lord, save the day, cause everybody at my job always got some shit to say. You might think this shit is crazy, but I deal with this every day. Knowing that we paved the way, I had it up to here today. Listen to the shit to say, make me wanna catch this case, or even if they face away. But I know what those scriptures say. We gon' wait on judgment day, thinking it ain't coming, thinking the Lord bluffing. Waiting on the day is gonna be harder than the oven, though they treat me like a slave. Wanna see me in the grave, hate to see a nigga brave, hate to see a nigga brave. It's hard at my job, but I'll be too wide, knowing that this cracker's gon' get it no.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Shalom Baltimore. Understand we are the Isupk. Alright, clap it up. This is the scripture breakdown class, and we are the Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commanding General Yohana. If it is not under Commanding General Yohana, it is not the truth, you understand? And we've been saying this, like, just that part right there is so heavy. You understand? Because in these times that we're in, people gonna have questions. If you online, you got questions, you wanna know what's gonna happen next, right? We got NBA players and these athletes who supposed to be leaders, you know? They supposed to be leaders for black people. You know what they saying on TV now? They saying, we scared. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next. They invaded the Capitol. What they going to do next? Right. You know, you got prominent athletes that's supposed to be the leaders of black people. You understand? But we're going to find out that athletes are not leaders for the black people. The Isupk under Commanding General Yohana is, though. You understand? We have the answers. We have the solutions to everything that's plaguing the black community. And while this kingdom is currently falling, while Babylon is falling, our kingdom, we should be building it right now. You understand? We should be getting in place. We should be getting in place to take over as soon as this kingdom is falling. Like it's playing itself out right before our eyes. For all those people who ever talked about the Bible and said that, you know, it's a spooky book, you know, that Christ ain't gonna crack that sky. You understand? Like you look at Revelations, you starting to see the beginnings of it right now. You know, just a recap, just in 2020, what we had, the Lord that sent a plague, right? He sent the coronavirus. We told our people, we should not be celebrating Christmas. We should not be celebrating, we should not be celebrating Christmas, Thanksgiving. We shouldn't be celebrating none of these holidays. You know why? Because when we do it, we die. You understand? People thought that 2021 was going to be different. But guess what? The so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, he just sent his army down to the Capitol. You understand? This sound like white on white crime to me. This sound like white on white crime to me. You understand? For so long they always say black on black crime. That's all they harp on. But when a so-called white man has crimes against his own people, no one speaks on that. You know, they want to get into policy then, you know. They want to get into what's causing this. But when blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when we have commit crimes against each other, we're savages. You understand? And we should not be doing those things. But at the end of the day, we have been destroyed, you understand? But here's the thing, we have to build our kingdom now, and it's going to start with us keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and coming back to the Lord. There is no other way. You understand? If I could, let me get Deuteronomy 28:1. We're gonna get these things out the Bible, man. Deuteronomy 28:1.
Deuteronomy 28. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
And it shall come to pass, meaning like this will happen. This is going to happen, you understand? Like we're going to look back at this event one day, you understand? It's going to come to pass.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. This is who we're supposed to be listening to. We're supposed to be listening to our Lord. We're not supposed to be putting our faith and listening to Joe Biden. You understand? We shouldn't be putting our faith and listening to Donald Trump and what's her name? Kamala Harris. You understand? Damn what they have to say. We need to be listening to the Lord. You understand? This is where our power comes from. Our power does not come from the devil. Our power comes from the Lord. You understand? We getting this in the scriptures, man. Like we have to understand that we have to be obedient children and we have to come back to what the Lord told us to do. And then that's the only time that we can truly start to build our kingdom. But guess what? We are building that kingdom now. You understand? Like these scriptures that we reading, that we getting into, this is the beginning of us building our kingdom. The brotherhood that we have is the beginning of us building our kingdom while Babylon is falling. You understand? Keep going, Dr. Bashar.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
Listen, he said to observe and to do all his commandments. You understand? The Most High said, he wants you doing everything he said, not what you want to do. You know, Captain Cesario just had an interview with the brother Jesse Lee, what's his name? Peterson. So, you know, you start checking the channel out, and you have ministers, pastors coming on there, you understand? And they say God can be whatever you need him to be, whenever you need him to be. You understand? That's the thought process that our people have right now. You know why? Because we're listening and we're going to the devil. We're going to our oppressor, the colonizer, you understand? To understand the oracles of God, to understand life. We can't go to a man who kills everything that he touches, you understand, and learn how to live life. We have to go to the Lord thy God, you understand? You keep going, brother, for sure.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Hey, Salaki, that don't sound like equality to me. That is not equality. We not fighting for equality, you understand? That's one of the biggest mistakes that we're making. You understand? The so-called white man, the terrorist, he's the greatest terrorist on the face of this earth, you understand? He just went and invaded his own capital, you understand? At the thought of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans being equal to him. But guess what? We not seeking equality. The Lord just said that he'll set thee on high above all nations. That means every nation outside of Israel, outside of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Most High is going to set us above all of them. You understand? But there's something that we have to do. That we can't do what we want to do and pretty much tell God how he's going to govern us.
Right.
Like a lot of times that's where we make our mistake. We feel like we can do whatever we want to do and God will just understand. He knows my heart, right? He understands that, you know, I was born this way. That's what homosexuals say. They say I was born this way. If he didn't want me this way, he shouldn't have made me this way. You understand? Like, we make excuses and we act like God has to be cool with it. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in, you understand? In order for us to build our kingdom, we gotta come back to these scriptures, man. Like you see brothers right now, man, we gotta arm up, man. We gotta get the most bullets, we gotta get the most guns, you understand? We gotta do this, that, and the third. No, you don't. You're not gonna win that war. You understand? You're not gonna win a war by picking a gun up and thinking that you're gonna fight against this oppressor, you understand?
Right.
The way you win this war is you have to defeat yourself, you understand? You gotta get yourself out the way. The only way that you're gonna get yourself out the way is getting back into these scriptures, man, and understanding what the Most High requires of you as a black, Hispanic, or Native American male, you understand? When we get in order, guess what? Our families will follow. You understand? That's how we begin to build our nation. We ain't got to pick up weapons, man. We ain't got to go out here and fight and put hands on nobody. You understand? But we do got to fight those demons on us, man. We got to fight that demon and say, I want to get high. We got to fight that demon and say, I want to be like the white man and be a gangster. You see what I'm saying? We got to fight that demon and say, I'm going to abort this baby. We got to fight against those principalities. And the only way we're going to do it if we surround ourselves with brothers who think the same as us. You understand? Like, that's what Isupk is for. You understand? Like, counseling is one of the cornerstones here in this school.
Right.
I mean, when a brother can't fight, when the brother's having a battle within himself that he can't conquer, all he got to do is get on the phone, call a captain up, call a general up. You understand? And he's going to get the proper counsel. He's going to get exactly what he needs. He's going to get the medicine that he needs. You understand? And that's how we start to begin to build our kingdom. You understand? This is how we start engaging and start seeing what the Most High requires of us and how the things that we got to do. You understand? Yeah, something else?
Okay. I was going. That's a heavy point that you bring up. It's like we can't expect to win a battle, a war against anything with a bunch of junkies and homosexuals and people that still want to celebrate Christmas. And
Right.
That's right. You know what I mean? Like, if that's your life, then what are you fighting for?
Right.
You know, you can still have that.
Right.
You can still be a slave and have fun.
Right, because you're not fighting for nothing.
God.
In all actuality, you fighting to remain the same.
Right. God.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you fighting to remain the same. A lot of people say, we got to come together. We got to come together. We do. We do have to come together, you understand? But at the same time, we got to come together in righteousness, though.
Right.
You know, we can't come together and have, you got the homosexuals in this corner, you got the drug addicts and the drug dealers in this corner, You see what I'm saying? You got the murderer sitting in the middle.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we're going to implode, you understand? Like, we'll destroy each other. That's what happens every single day. Now, if you go to any hood in any black city, this is what you'll find. You see what I'm saying? But we have to come back, like, we are building the kingdom here in ISUPK, man. Like, we've been saying it for a long time that, we need to fill these classrooms up, man. You see us out on the corners, man, you need to come over, get a flyer, ask some questions. You understand? Because time is drawing near. You understand? We starting to see things play out. We starting to see things play out that we never thought we would. Like, people are astonished right now at what just happened. But at the end of the day, if you come to these scriptures, the Lord will reveal to you. That's why he said to watch. You'll have wars and rumors of wars, you understand? Nation against nation.
Right.
Like, these things are happening. It's already been prophesied. But what we're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be watching, you understand? And that's how we begin to build our kingdom, man. Come back to these scriptures and start listening, you understand?
Right.
This oppressor's kingdom is falling, man. Babylon is falling. When you think of America, in the scriptures you may see Egypt. Egypt just means bondage. You understand? Egypt and America and Babylon, you can insert either three for each other. So in the Bible, when you see him talk about the Egyptians, or you see him talking about the Babylonians, you understand? It's the same thing as what's going on here in America. There's no difference. You said, good.
Entanglement.
It's an entanglement. You see what I'm saying? The water. You understand? It's an entanglement. Like, it's the same exact thing. And we're going to see this in the scriptures, man. This kingdom is falling. Let me get Isaiah 66 and 16. You stay where you at, all right? 66 and 16.
It is Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and slain of the Lord shall be many.
I say, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Shall be many. You understand? Like, slide. Yeah, like, this is what we gotta understand. Like, the Lord is not pleased, man. The Lord is not pleased with what's going on here. You understand? Like, the Lord can destroy these kingdoms with nature. You see what I'm saying? We can be, he can use fire, he can use water, he can use whatever. You understand? But you're starting to see the beginning of this kingdom being destroyed. You understand? And when you get into this, when we get into these scriptures, man, you're going to see not only the Lord has been displeased with us for a very long time. So we know punishment. Punishment is like so normal to us right now. Like, you ever had an animal that was abused and you try to show it love, you understand, and it's like it's confused. Like, why are you treating me this way? Why are you showing me so much kindness? You understand? I don't deserve this. It's like a battered woman. You see what I'm saying? But here's the thing. These other nations, they don't know that. The Lord is going to introduce them to it. Introduce them to what we've been experiencing since we've been over here. You understand? The carnage, the fear. You understand? Like, the Lord is on the brink of bringing this kingdom down. And it's imperative, it is important that we understand that we're not up here speaking just to speak. We're not up here speaking just to be vain or to sound smart, you understand? This is what our people do. This is what so many people with platforms try to do. We speaking because we don't want to see none of our people perish, man. The scriptures, I understand the scriptures say a remnant, and then what if we can grab everybody? What if everybody can actually, repent and come to the Lord, you understand?
That's right.
Like, let's plead with the Lord, you understand? That none of us have to die. You understand? This is why we're doing it. This is why we're making the sacrifices that we make. Let me get Isaiah, we're going to start in Isaiah 19. Isaiah chapter 19, we're going to start in verse 2.
This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, you understand? Remember I said, when you look at Egypt, when you look at Babylon, when you look at America, you can interchange either one of those for each other.
Right.
You understand? The Lord said, I'm going to set Egyptians against Egyptians. I'm going to set Esau against Esau. You understand? This is what the Lord is saying right now. Keep going.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother. You understand? Like the so-called white man he's in civil war right now. You know, Democrat, Republican, you understand? You got America, you got Russia. You know, they are of the same nation. You understand? But they are at odds with each other. The Lord is setting this in play, man. The Lord is setting this in motion. Like, he's the one that's up there and pretty much dictating what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. You understand? The Lord is the author of all of this. You understand? Keep going.
And everyone against his neighbor. City against city. And kingdom against kingdom.
Listen, the Lord is putting it in motion, man. This kingdom that we're currently living in, that's ruled by the so-called white man, listen, whatever his pleasure is, he got to enjoy it right now. You understand? And he can feel it slipping away. He can feel it slipping away. That's why they're going out and taking the Capitol. That's why they're doing it. Like, people just make it about Donald Trump. You know, they want Donald Trump in office. It's deeper than that. You understand? They feel that they feel their control and their dominance over this earth slipping away. And not only is it slipping away, they feel like it's more power being given to black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you feel me? So not only you taking our power, now you're giving it to our enemies. They're offended. You understand? They're offended. Like, do you know what it takes to attack your own government? Do you know how disrespectful and most crimes like this are met with death?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if this happened in China, everybody who stormed that Capitol would be dead right now. And not only them, possibly their families.
Right.
You understand? If this happened in Russia, the same thing. If this happened anywhere else in the world, it would have been met with death. You understand? But here in this kingdom, America is so prideful. America is so prideful, the Lord is going to bring them down. You understand? In the way in which only the Lord can do it. You understand? Keep going.
And I will I'm gonna start.
No, you in verse 3.
And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof.
And the spirit of Egypt, the spirit of America will fail in the midst thereof. You understand? Like, look at the spirit of the so-called white man. You understand? What's the slogan? This is the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? They ain't got a brave spirit, huh? You understand? Like, I think it was one of their, I'm not sure exactly what his position was, but his was one of the offices that they went into and was just like trashing it, pretty much taking all important papers. And he hid in one of the compartments inside the wall. So, you know, he's sitting there still, trying not to breathe and make a noise. You see what I'm saying? And he said, I can hear him just rummaging through all my papers. He said, I even seen a dude pissing on the floor in the middle of my office. So while they were ransacking his office after they took the Capitol, he was in the walls hiding. You understand? But this is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. You feel me? The so-called white man is a coward, man. You understand? He'll send your son to fight a war that he started. You understand? He's the one who dictates who's brave and who's this, that, and the third. You understand?
Right.
But when it comes time for him to soldier up and be brave himself, he hides in the wall. You understand? He's no different from them so-called radicals. That's why they have doomsday preppers. You ever heard of a doomsday prepper?
Yeah.
They build bunks underground. You know, they hide something in the middle of plain sight. You understand? It looked like something foreign. It looked like a broke down school bus in the middle of the desert. And they got a whole civilization under it. He's scared. You understand? This is what the scripture said. The spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Keep going.
And I will destroy the counsel thereof.
And I will destroy the counsel of thereof. You understand? Like, there is no counsel for the white man. You understand? Like, who's counseling Donald Trump? You understand? Like, he just do what he wanted to do. I don't even think he read the teleprompters when he talk at this point. You see what I'm saying? He's like a live wire. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in the sense that they've allowed themselves to even appear so weak. They supposed to be the strong nation. America's supposed to be so tough, right? All these other nations are watching. America is exposed, you understand? America's skirt has been pulled up. You understand? Keep going.
And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. You understand? This is who they're going to turn to. You know, they're going to get on their knees and they're going to pray to Caesar Borgia. You understand? They're going to pray to that fake Jesus Christ. You understand? That's who they're going to turn to. They're going to turn to the charmers and their drug dealers. You understand? Because their economy is falling. You understand? If you look at a witch or all that sorcery and all that kind of stuff, just to take the Christianity off of it, you know, we call a witch a drug dealer. You understand? America is built on drug dealing. You understand? Like when the economy is failing, they get rich off their drugs. That's why weed is legal now. That's why cocaine shipments always get into America. You understand? This country was built on it. It's built on the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? And the cocaine and heroin that they can push into our community. This is what they turn to. You understand? Like, this is the source of their power, and this is the things that they're turning to. We don't turn to these things, man. We should turn to our God, you understand? This is how we get our power. This is the source of their power right here. Keep going.
Verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord.
They say, and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord. What does that mean? You feel me? Who is this cruel Lord that these Egyptians or these Americans are going to be handed over to? You understand? It's not us. You understand? Like, though we are going to be ruling them, what this is talking about, this is civil. You got to think civil. Like, this is white on white crime right now. You understand? So you could take a nation such as America, but then you could take a nation such as Russia, right? Both of them are Edomites. Now, democracy is supposed to be the big staple for American government, you understand? But these other nations are seeing the weakness in America. So when you may have a Vladimir Putin come over and say, listen, we see that you don't have order over here. And they try to institute or try to apply certain things from their country over here. The Lord say they're going to be given over to a cruel ruler, man. You understand? America is going to be given over to a cruel ruler. Like, it all makes sense once it starts coming together. When you start having other oppressive nations that come over here and try to take America, and it sparks World War III. You understand? Because these so-called Proud Boys, these proud terrorists, these proud cowards, you understand? Like, strange enough, they ain't gonna be the ones on the front line. You understand? It'll be us. It'll be us on the front line fighting for them, you understand? It'll be Tyrone and Debo and Lord Black that's on death row that the judge threw the book at and said he has no purpose, he has no use in society, you understand? We're gonna give him 100 years, you feel me? Because we gotta protect society from him. They'll be the ones that we release from jail are gonna fight these other nations. How do we know that? Didn't they do the same thing with them fires out in California? They took the prisoners and was paying them like what, 30 cents or $1 a week, something slaverish. You see what I'm saying? They was paying them something like a week to fight, paying wildfires. You see what I'm saying? This is what they do because they're cowards, man. They're cowards. Another nation, another Edomite nation is going to come. Because you got to realize everyone's seeing the weakness in America, man. Everyone sees this kingdom. Like, at one point, America was a superpower. Like, these other nations wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare disrespect America. Not no more. Not no more. You got any videos of them storming the Capitol, sir? We're gonna show a few videos. I'm quite sure everyone's seen them, but we want to let it resonate because we want to see how cowardice the so-called white man is. You understand? When he has numbers, oh, he's brave. He's bold. You understand? He stormed the Capitol because he knew he had no resistance. You see what I'm saying? Let him get some resistance and he won't storm nothing else. You understand?
Move over a little bit.
We just read the scripture where it said he would put an Egyptian against Egyptian. This is what you're saying right now. So-called Abraham against the so-called Abraham.
People of Oregon, these are the working people of Oregon.
They're storming their own government. This is what you're saying. And they should fight everyone against his brother. They say everyone against his neighbor. This is the discourse that you should take place right now. This is what you're saying when he was the captain. Look, they bold, man.
We are being censored. America's news outlets no longer provide the truth.
You know, they cracking down on the ones that they had in the Capitol, right? They supposed to be arresting them. I think it was one of them they caught at the airport. Told him he couldn't fly. And he cried just like a coward, you know. They're calling me a terrorist. They're calling me a terrorist, you understand? You see what I'm saying? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the scripture when we in Genesis, with Esau, when he sold his birthright. And then he cried when he didn't get the blessing. Daddy, please give it to me. He deceived me, Daddy. Like, you know you sold your birthright, you feel me? You understand? Like, he commit the crime and don't want to do the time, you feel me? Go ahead, go ahead, sir.
My ad popped up, but we can play the rest of it real quick.
Come. Yeah, this is exclusive footage you said right here, you understand? You said that right here. It's fully powerless, you understand? You said the land of the free?
Police with
You said the home of the free. Ain't that something? It's like, why he singing the home of the free? They got their leaders hiding in the building walls.
Hey, there's just a fucking squad right through the side door. Hey guys, let me through, please. Don't let me just here. Let's get over here.
This is tyranny!
That's what I'm calling it.
These guys don't have body cams. You guys can do whatever
We
you
don't
want.
want to fight you.
God does not allow this. You know this. Terrorize the people.
Go to church, you know better.
I hope you're getting overtime, asshole.
Me and you, big boy. You're fighting people. Me and you, big boy. Everybody's looking at you, big man. They like you. Hey, you know, you're trying to come in through the backside too. Be aware.
Did you know you can go to libertymutual.com to customize your car insurance so you only...
This so-called white man is a coward, man. He's an absolute coward, you understand? But this is what the scripture has been telling us the whole time. The scripture, like the Most High has been...
You pay for what you need?
Really? I just... animal that we're under, right? He's been giving us this the whole time, man. Like, we fear him because we're in our wickedness, you understand? That's the only reason we fear him. Because the Lord is not with us. When we're in our wickedness, man, the Lord don't stand with us. That's why we have to fear a coward such as that. But what happens when we come back to our power? And our power comes back to us. We don't fear a coward like the so-called white man, who runs in the walls of a building to escape a mob of angry, I don't even know, a mob of his own angry brethren, you feel me? You understand? Imagine Commander General Yohana. Imagine someone storming headquarters. You understand? Imagine General Mahayman. Do you think Commander General Yohana, General Mahayman, is going to hide behind a UPK banner and blend in with the wall? Like, it sounds ridiculous, you see what I'm saying? That's not the spirit of Israel, man. That's the spirit of this coward that we're under, man. The Lord has been bringing it out since we've had these scriptures, man. But the only reason we fear him is because we won't come back to our power. Right. You understand? That's why, go ahead, Alza.
That's the word habit you bring it out. Like, and the thing is, it's so important for ISUPK because, or to be here, is because when you follow these scriptures, it'll teach you how to not make the silly mistake of what we made in Exodus. When we left, you know what I mean, we leaving Israel. I mean, right. We leaving Egypt.
Egypt, right.
You know what I mean? To grow in fear and be like, man, I don't like, he showed us what not to do when we come out of this kingdom. While we got an opportunity, you know what I mean, to rise up and get away from these cowards, and that's all we gotta do is not repeat that. Don't be scared. Don't be in fear.
But don't, and that's heavy. And the only way we can do that is by coming back to these law, statutes, and commandments. Right. Knowing who we should call on. Right now, we still calling on Joe Biden. We still calling on Kamala Harris. You understand? Like, we still calling on the devil himself to save us. We can't, you can never take over, you can never build a kingdom if you do not go to the leader of the nation and ask, what is your will? You understand? Like, we don't beseech the Lord. The Lord said, come to me. He said, hear my words. You understand? Listen to the things I tell you to do. But we want to go elsewhere. And then when we die, then we're going to come back and we want to say, you know, please, Lord, please, that, and the third. You understand? Like, this is the chance right now. We read in Deuteronomy 28:1, the Lord say, listen to this, what you hear on this day. If this is the first time that you've ever heard this is the day that it's talking about. You understand? If this is the first time that you heard that the laws of God are still in effect, that means that you know, right as of right now, you're responsible for them. Then you know what the first thought gonna come to your mind and you're gonna say, well, I don't know what I should be doing. I don't know all the laws. That's what you should be thinking. And when you say, I don't know all the laws, you know what you should do? You should get on that phone, man. You should get on that phone and contact the captain of the city that's closest to you. And say, listen, I want to serve the Lord, even though I don't know how to. Where do I start? And you're going to come to class, and guess what? You will learn how to serve the Lord, man. This is how we build our nation. This is how we build our kingdom, man. Like, we're not doing nothing by magic in here. Like, it's not a magic trick or a magic spell that we're under. You understand? If we can do it, and I mean we, the ones who've actually committed to serving the Lord thus far, you understand, here in Isupk, everyone, every black, Hispanic, and Native American has the ability to do the same thing, man. We're no better than our brothers in the world, you understand? That's why we go to the street and we go to them. You understand? Who wants to see their brother dying every week, man? Who wants to see their nation continuously disrespected, man? Knowing our history, knowing our culture, knowing the God that we serve. You understand? But guess what? In order for us to rise, this kingdom still gotta fall, man. And that's the problem. A lot of us don't want to, we hanging on to this kingdom and we don't want to give it up. It's the same thing like Officer Alizar was saying, man. Same thing that happened in Egypt. It's repeating itself. The Lord is trying to take us away from this kingdom, you understand? And you got some of us who are saying, listen, we were comfortable there. You understand? We were comfortable in Egypt. At least we could, you know, pick and choose the meal that we was going to eat. At least we had a soft bed and pillow that we can lay down on. You understand? We have people still like that. And unfortunately, this is the Christian church, man. This is the Christian church who is so comfortable in this kingdom that they're praying to whatever sorceress, whatever God they pray to, you understand, Caesar Borgia, they're praying to him that this kingdom heals itself. You understand? That's not what the scriptures say. If I could, let me get Isaiah 51 and 22. Isaiah 51 and 22.
This is Isaiah chapter 51, verse 22. Thus saith the Lord, the God, thus saith the Lord, and the God that pleadeth, and cause of his people, behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling.
Thus said the Lord, thy Lord, the Lord, and the Lord that pleadeth the cause of his people. He say, I've taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. You understand? This is what the Most High is beginning to do. You understand? Like here in Isupk, we're not trembling. You understand? We're not afraid. We're not scared. You understand? We're not trembling at the fact that, you know, when the police pull us over, we're not scared. You understand? When we walk out of our homes, we're not scared. You understand? But this is the cup of trembling that our people have been under. We've had it since we've been here. That cup of trembling that you ever wonder why boys are raised to be so docile? Boys are raised to be so docile, and women, little girls are raised to be so outspoken and loud, and no one corrects her. That's a symptom of slavery, man. You know, they didn't want our young boys being bold. They didn't want our young boys talking strong, you understand? Because that slave master would do something to them. You understand? He would try to break the spirit in any way, shape, or form. He would break the spirit of that black boy, you understand? So it was taught that a black boy should be docile and don't look oppressive in his eyes. And put your head down and all that nonsense, you understand? But that black girl, she can grow up and be a black woman. She can be as sassy out her mouth as she wants to. She can have a fresh mouth day and night. and no one's going to say nothing to her. This is also towards slavery, you know. She was there. She was a form of entertainment for the slave master. You understand? This is the same thing that's happening all the way to this day. You understand? When we get around that oppressor, man, we get scared. We meaning us blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? When that police pull up behind us, guess what? We get nervous, man. All your paperwork good, right? Your paperwork good, you know it's good. You just went to the NBA. You ain't got no flags on your joint. All your tickets, and you done paid them off. You understand? You got proof of paperwork, proof of payment. Everything's solid. But you know what you're gonna think? Man, I gotta reach in the glove compartment and get it. What's gonna happen when I reach in that glove compartment? Is he gonna shoot? Is this gonna happen? Is that gonna happen? You understand? That's that cup of trembling, you understand? That's what we've had. The Lord said he's gonna take that cup of trembling from us, right? Keep going.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury, you understand? The dregs or the cup of the Lord's fury is what? What's the cup of the Lord's fury, you understand? It's death, man. You ever wonder why in every major black city you got them 400 murders a year? You understand? That's the cup of the Lord's fury right there. The Lord gets angry, man. And when the Lord gets angry and he visits people, the Lord will visit a city. He will visit a city and he'll leave an angel over that city. The angel will take that sword out of his sheath, you understand, and hold it over that city. And that city will have nothing but death and terror in it. You understand? When the Lord visits a city or a place, beware. You see what I'm saying? But here's the thing. We accustomed to that. The Lord is saying that I'm going to take this out of your hand. The Lord is saying I'm going to take that cup of trembling away from you, and I'm going to take the dregs of the cup of my fury away from you. You understand? Keep going.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
They say, thou shalt no more drink it again. You understand? We don't have to feel that way. We don't have to die that type of death. You understand? When we come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. When we come back, you got a question, son? When we come back and we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and doing what the Lord said, we don't fear these things no more. You understand? We understand that if the Lord is with us, who can be against us, right? We don't walk in fear, man. Right. We walk in power. That's what the Isupk is. That's why it's no cowards, man. Can't be in here all scared of everything and moving gentle and moving soft. You see what I'm saying? You gotta move with a purpose, man. You gotta speak with a purpose, man. You gotta act with a purpose, man. You gotta act to bring back your people. You understand? You can't be timid doing that. You understand? You get walked on. You become no more than the Christian church. You understand? That's what happens to them. That's not what happens here. The Lord is going to take those things away from us. When we come to this Isupk, man, and we get that counsel, man, and we start learning what the Lord expects from us and what the Lord requires of us, you understand? And we start separating ourselves from this kingdom and their holidays, you understand? And we start pretty much, we put on our culture. We put on our culture again. You understand? When we begin to do that, we don't fear none of these things. The Lord takes it away from us. Keep going, brother, sure.
Verse 23. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Uh-oh. He said, but I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. You understand? Who afflicts us? The so-called white man has been afflicted us since we got here, right? Not only the so-called white man, all these other nations as well. The Lord said, I will take it from you, and I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee. So that means that the so-called white man, he's going to have that cup of trembling. That means he's going to be scared to come outside, man. Right. That's it. That means he's going to have the cup of the Lord's fury, meaning he's going to experience death. You understand? He's going to experience his blood in the streets. You understand? He's going to get a taste of what he's been giving us the entire time. This is what the Lord has been saying. Keep going.
Which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground.
This is what they've done to us, man. They told our soul to bow down. You know how heavy that is? Like, you know how heavy that is? Like, for them to tell your soul, like, it's not good enough for them to have you in captivity. And you can't be the free man that you were created to be, you understand, under the Most High. We don't have our culture. We don't have land. We don't have none of the things that we should have, you understand? And that's not good enough for him. He said, I need your soul, you understand? That means when I tell you to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, I want you to do it with a smile on your face, you understand? I want you to feel good about serving me. You understand? I want you to be a appreciative slave, you understand? And I just watched the interview, another interview with Captain Tazariak, and the devil on the show, he told Captain Tazariak. Captain Tazariak pretty much told him, you know, everywhere that you've been, you've murdered for it.
Right.
You've murdered. You haven't, like the North American Indians were pleasant to you. You understand? And yet you murdered them. They wasn't at war with you, but yet you still conquered them. You know what he said? He didn't say, man, I feel bad for that, man.
Right.
He didn't get on his knees and give a boot kiss. You know what he said? He said they should feel happy that we didn't
Right.
What's the word? What's that word?
Genocide.
We didn't genocide them.
God.
Like we actually were merciful on them.
Right.
You understand? He wants your soul, man. Go ahead, sir.
I'll tell you something. There's something that black people generally don't understand. There is no redemption in white people.
Right.
Whenever you bring up the fact that you murdered my people for centuries, you exploited my people for centuries, and you benefited off of doing these things, they spin the story and say, no, we saved you.
Right.
We gave you housing. We gave you civilization. There is no redemption in them, and that's what the Bible says.
Right.
So don't be surprised that they say, well, the Indians were savages.
Right.
They were killing and they were being cannibals because the white man spread those type of lies to have an excuse to murder.
Right.
The same way he spread the lies that black men were raping white women, and this is the reason why they burned down our towns and looted and murdered our children and every city that we built after slavery.
Right.
You understand? So to even want any kind of empathy or sympathy from them, that's a losing strategy on our part.
Right.
I believe we need to understand that there is no redemption in these people. So therefore, they're always going to twist reality,
right,
because they're liars and deceivers. And the only thing we can do is try to wake our people up to understand that this is what these people are.
Right.
That's the only reason for us to listen to it. You understand?
Right.
Because it's absolutely outrageous and ridiculous. And during that interview, this bastard was saying black people somehow have more rights in America than white people, or some type of privilege that white people don't have. Only a demon and a devil could look upon the situation of blacks and say that. They are truly the devil.
Yeah, and it's like what you said is so heavy, you know, there's no way around it. You see what I'm saying? Like the scripture just said, which have said to thy soul, bow down. You see what I'm saying? That's what they do. They ain't even speaking to you, they speaking to your soul. You understand? Serve me with a smile on your face. You got attitude? You got an attitude about being oppressed? You got a problem with that? You better serve me with a smile on your face, huh? That's how they think. Well, I don't have a reservation that I get a check for every month. That's because you took everything else. You took all the resources. You done went to every continent and you polluted it. Stole it, robbed it, you understand, raped it for everything that it was worth. And you mad about the natives having a plantation that you're oppressing them on? They are diabolical. You understand? And we gotta understand, just like Officer Kawan was speaking on, we gotta understand we cannot go to them and expect a resolution. We can't go to them and to expect peace. We can't go to them and expect them to right a wrong, you understand? It's not in their nature. The Lord told us this in the beginning. He said, 2 nations are in thy womb. You understand? So he will have a perpetual hatred, an everlasting hatred for us, you understand? Like, people get mad at us for saying we love black people. Like, how can you get mad at us for loving black people when every time we love them, we die? You understand? Yeah, something else?
It was heavy because I was thinking about also what you said. During the interview with Captain Zaria was bringing out that black people will get justice. You know what I mean? Like a white man can kill a brother and they'll get away with it.
Yeah.
But the devil being so subtle, he said, this is where he, you know what I mean, hold justice. He feel like he got justice because Zimmerman went to court.
Yeah.
Now, he ain't get convicted, you know, but he said he had his day. That was justice. Because he actually had to walk into a courtroom and you know what I mean, like take time out of his life and go into a courtroom and still be found not guilty.
Yeah, but that's a heavy point, man. And the thing is like, this is part of him wanting our soul, telling our soul to bow down. Keep going, Buck Shaw. Start right there and say that we may go over.
Come. And thou, you want that?
No, just start with say that we may go over after bow down.
That we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
That's exactly what they've done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you understand? They've killed us in these streets, man. They've laid our body as the ground. You understand? Like right now, we're walking on the bones of the North American Indians, you understand? Like, this is what they've done. And they went over. We're under, this kingdom has to fall. Like, there's no way that you can have a body of people. That's why the scriptures say, when the wicked ruleth, the earth mourns. You understand? The earth is mourning, you understand, because of this wicked beast that's in control of it. It said, but when the righteous rule it, the earth rejoices. Don't nobody want the black man to be in charge. They better be thankful that we serve the Lord, you understand? They have to be thankful because we're going to rule this earth righteously, you understand? We have to rule righteously because we're not like them. You understand? But this earth will rejoice when we're in control. This beast is in control, man. He wants your soul. He wants you to bow down. He will kill you in the streets. Like, if you see what happened in that Capitol, and you realize that the police not only allowed them to storm that Capitol, they were a part of it. You understand? People died. What was it? 4 people died? 5 people died, but most of us were from COVID or something like that, health issues or something like that. I don't think 5 people got shot.
I think
one woman was killed, and the rest of them died from other things.
I think so.
Here's the thing. People can say, you know, the whole earth came together, like blacks, Hispanics, and that. We all recognize that if that was us, we'd have been laid down, you understand? Right. They've laid us down for less than that. You see what I'm saying? They've killed black men, women, and children for absolutely things like not even remotely close to what they just did. You understand? They'll kill a kid for playing with a toy gun. They'll kill a brother for selling a loose cigarette on the street. You understand? Like, they kill us for even less than that. They are diabolical, man. But guess what? The Lord is taking their kingdom away. He said he's giving them that cup of trembling, man. That's why they're walking around scared. If you work around, if you slave around these so-called white people, they are afraid right now. This is their country and they are scared, man. They feel like the things that made them who they are slowly losing it. They're losing it. They're afraid. They're afraid because their cup of trembling is being passed to them. That cup of fury is being passed to them. This is what the scripture's been telling us for a long time, man. If I could, let me get Exodus 23 and 22. It is imperative that every black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child, man, we got to come back to the Lord, man. Like, we got to come back to the Lord and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Like, the time is now. All that waiting and you got to figure things out, nah. You better come on into the school, man, before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Come on and occupy a seat, you understand? And learn. And learn what it is to defeat not only your demons, you understand, but to understand the principalities of this world, you understand? To understand, meaning where we can't defeat this oppressor carnally. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't, our war is spiritual. We defeat them by returning to the Lord. But we have so many carnal people, carnal leaders out here. And when I say carnal leaders, these are the brothers and sisters who feel like you got to take up arms. You got to be strapped 24/7. These are these people. They are scared, man. They are scared because they don't understand the mind of God. You understand? Because they've rejected the only knowledge that we have. But here in Isupk, we realize that this is a spiritual war that we're fighting right now. Understand? Allow the so-called white man to engage in his civil war. But what we should be doing is we should be strengthening and building our own kingdom. You understand? We should be getting off the drugs right now. We should be saying, you know what? I ain't gonna sell no more drugs, you understand? If you're homosexual, you need to be saying, I know I can't live this lifestyle. Let me go get counseling. Understand? Because the Lord is he's building his kingdom right now. There has never been a kingdom that is fallen and another one was not already in place to take it over. You understand? Like, the Lord, that's not how the Lord operates. The so-called white man's kingdom doesn't have to fall and then we start building. We starting to build right now. That way it's a smooth transition. You see what I'm saying? A power. As soon as he leaves, we come right in. We already established. We getting established right now, man. The Lord is setting his kingdom. And when we come back to him, we know we have enemies, not each other. These other nations are our enemies, man. Let me get that. You got that?
So, this is Exodus chapter 23, verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy until thine enemies.
The Lord said, listen, if you do what I tell you to do, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, don't eat pork, don't celebrate Christmas, don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You do what I tell you to do. Do all of them. Guess what? Your enemies shall become my enemies. You understand? This is what the Lord is telling every black, Hispanic, and Native American man, you know? You come back to serving me, and guess what? You ain't gonna have an enemy trying to destroy you then. You know why? Because I'm going to deal with them.
Right.
You understand? Like, I always like referencing, like referencing that one dude that's in the hood, man. That one dude that's in the hood that don't nobody play with. The D-boy of every hood. Every hood got a D-boy. And when he said, listen, shorty, anybody mess with you, guess what? They messing with me. I mean, you let me know whoever you got a problem with. And he declared, anybody touch shorty, you dealing with me. Once he said that, guess what? Ain't nobody messing with you. Ain't nobody playing games with you. You see what I'm saying? They gonna respect you then. They're gonna be real careful how they move then. You understand? They ain't gonna just pull you over and throw you out your car then for no reason. Because they understand that you have the protection of a power that they can't defeat. The Lord is telling us the same thing, man. That's how you know it's a black book. That's how you know it's a black book. The Lord is saying, listen, all you gotta do, you come back to me. I mean, if you want to get down with them suckers over there, go ahead, do your thing. But if you want to come over here, in my mind it sounds like the shit night. You feel me? You want to manage it, ain't dancing. It's lucky, but no, that's what it is. Like if you come back, if we as a nation come back to serving the Lord, man, the Lord will be an enemy to our enemies. Right. I mean, he's already scared. He's already running shook. You understand? That cup of trembling and that cup of fury that the Lord is dishing out on him. He hasn't even got the fullness of it yet, and you see how scared he is. What's going to happen when we have a hedge of protection against us, and he can't touch us the way he wants to no more? You understand? What happens then? That's when his kingdom falls, man. What happens when we have a hedge of protection and these East Indians and these Asians can't come in our community and destroy our community? Setting up shops and stuff like that, feeding us rats, cat and dog, you understand? What happens then? That business is gonna fall. You understand? Dunkin' Donuts is gonna fall. But you know whose store is gonna rise? Mr. Johnny.
Right.
You understand? You know, Aunt Susie. You know, she gonna be selling dinners and everybody gonna be buying them because you can't go to McDonald's no more. You see what I'm saying? Like our businesses will return because the Lord will take care of our enemies for us. We ain't gotta do nothing out the way. We ain't gotta be violent to nobody. All we have to do is return to the Lord, man, and do as He said. Let me get Zephaniah 2:1. You got that for me, Austin? Read it for me. Read loud. Call out where you at. Zephaniah
2:1. Gather yourself together. Yeah, gather, O nation, not desire.
Gather yourself. Hold that right there. They say, gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. You understand? The Lord is telling us to come back, to gather together, man. Gather together in righteousness. You understand? Gather yourself, realizing that we got rules, we got laws, statutes, and commandments that we gotta follow, man. That's when we gather. We gotta come together in that vibe. You see what I'm saying? We gotta come back in the vibe saying, listen, I'm not gonna disrespect my brother. You understand? I ain't gonna murder my brother no more. You see what I'm saying? Like we gotta come back in that spirit. That's how we have to gather. Old nation not desired. We're not desired by no one. They need us. You understand? Like these other nations need us in order for their kingdoms to prosper, man. You know how in the scripture it say that Israel will be a blessing to all these other nations. People say, yeah, because when we rule in the earth, this is how they philosophize. Yeah, because when we rule in the earth, and here's the thing, this is how destroyed we are as a people. Because you'll hear, when it's something that's for us, we want to give it away so quick. When it's a blessing for Israel, we want to give it to every other nation. They say, you know what? You know, we blessed. When the scriptures say that we'll bless every nation, because when we're ruling, we're going to be a blessing to all these other nations, you know. And we're going to teach them we're going to teach them how to serve the Lord, and everything will be, you know, kumbaya and all that. That's not what that's saying. Now. You understand? You know how these nations are blessed through Israel? These nations get blessed when we're their slaves, man. When they conquer us and we're under their foot, and they can have us working for pennies on the dollar, that's how they get blessed. Free labor. You understand? The Lord is saying, gather together, O nation not desire. They do not desire us, but they know they need us. You understand? They need it for their bottom line, which is that bread. We like cattle to them. You understand? Any more of that, Austin?
Before the decrease sprang forth, before the day passed, and the chaff before the...
No, you can drop that. The what? Yeah, the Lord is telling us to gather together, man. If I could, let me get Leviticus 18 and verse 2. Like we saying in the scripture, like we can all see the destruction and the division in this kingdom that we're currently in. But what we can't see is the fact that the Lord is building His kingdom through the Isupk, man. And people say, "Oh, how can you say that is only Isupk?" Because the Isupk is where we're following the words of the Lord. You understand? Right. We're doing exactly what the Lord told us to do, man. We don't say it for no reason. This is the home of the truth, man. That's not word. You understand? This is what we do, man. You can't say you're the home of the truth and hate your brother. You can't say you're the home of the truth, you understand, and ain't got no love for your people, man. To say you're the home of the truth, that means you're going to rock for your people, man. You're going to sacrifice your own pleasures to get up on a Saturday morning and go to camp. You see what I'm saying? And stand up there in the cold weather or the hot weather, you understand? And take offenses being hurled at you, you understand? And take it on the chin like a champ. This is what you do when you love your people, you understand? This is what you do when you actually follow Christ. Because we're doing it because He did it. You understand? This is the home of the truth, man. You got that book to show?
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God.
And say, speaking to the children of Israel, speaking to every black, Hispanic, and Native American, and say it to them, I am the Lord your God. You understand? Not Donald Trump, not Barack Obama, not Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris. It say, I am the Lord your God. You understand? Keep going, Bob, for sure.
After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do.
This is what the Lord is telling us how to build our kingdom, man. He say, after the doings of the land of Egypt, or after the doings of the land of America, you understand? Wherein you dwelt. Like we're dwelling here now. You understand? It says, shall ye not do. What is the Lord telling us not to do, man? The Lord is telling us not to partake in their holidays. You understand? Let's not celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas. What's coming up next? Valentine's Day. Let's not celebrate Valentine's Day this year. Understand? Let's not do what these heathen nations do. They tell you on the day that you gotta you gotta show your woman that you love her all of a sudden. And if you don't give her a teddy bear and chocolate and spend $1 million, you know, you just inadequate. You know, the Christian church will say that you're unequally yoked. You see what I'm saying? How about we not do that, man? We keep going back with the show.
Yeah. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Hey, listen, neither shall we walk in their ordinances, you understand? Like, we should not walk in the things that they tell us to walk in. The so-called white man tell you can be a homosexual and be free to love whoever you want to love, you understand? Most High say you can't. Say man is not supposed to lay with man as if with a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not supposed to do those things. But it's okay to this line. It's okay under this beast that we're under. The Lord is telling us, don't follow them. Don't be a part of their wicked ways, man. Keep going, Bubba Shaw. I'm gonna go down to verse 5, Bubba Shaw.
Verse 4, ye shall do my judgment and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
The Lord is saying, listen, you should do my judgments. You understand? What are some of the Lord's judgments? You understand? What are some of the Lord's statutes and commandments? You understand? Like, do you know that the Lord has his own feast days? The Lord actually has feast days that he told every black, Hispanic, and Native American to celebrate. You know, we got Passover, which is coming up, by the way, April 24th, you understand? We're going to be down in Houston, Texas, getting it in. You understand? Like, the Lord has Passover, Days of Unleavened Bread, Pentecost, Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles, you understand? We just had Feast of Dedication, or Hanukkah. We just had that a couple, last month. We got Purim coming up. Man, the Lord is all about us being a family.
That's right.
We don't need this devil to tell us what to do, man. And better yet, we don't need this devil telling us to celebrate the murder of our own people. The Lord is saying, do not walk in their ordinances, man. Do not walk in the things that they tell you to do. Keep going, Bob Bishop.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, ye shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Listen, the Lord is telling, man, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you understand? This is what you should be doing. Like, we want to make Israel great again. You understand? They ain't making America great again. We want to make Israel great again. And the way we do that, man, is by coming back and keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? And realizing that we have a glorious culture, man. We have a glorious heritage that most of us have not even tapped into. Right. You understand? Like, it's brothers that in the last 2.5 years, man, that I've met, it's like we brothers, like legit brothers. Like, I ain't saying it to say it. You see what I'm saying? Like, we brothers, man. You see what I'm saying? On every level. You can't do, like, you got people in the world, man, they are siblings, or they are supposed to be close, you feel me? And they hate each other. You know what I'm saying? That's not the culture of the Lord, man. That's not how we deal with one another. But we're not going to understand that, because when we deal with each other like that, we're only mimicking what we see. We mimic what the so-called white man do, you understand? Everything that he do that's wicked, everything that he do that's wrong in the earth, we mimic it. You know why we mimic it? Because it seems like he prospers from it. You understand? When a white man kills, he prospers from it. Like, he's the only one that could create the problem and then solve it and get paid for it. You understand? Like, he kills every animal on the earth. And then when he gets down to the last 5, he gets donations for people trying to save the rest of them. You see what I'm saying? Like, and we see that. And we say, oh, he eating like that? Man, we're gonna do the same thing, you feel me? You know, he's pouring, you know, brothers over here think they getting it because they got a brick of this and a brick of that, you see what I'm saying? He has whole tug and sailboats full of cocaine and heroin, you understand? He has airplanes full of cocaine and heroin that he's pumping into the country. We see him get rich doing it. So we figure we can do it too. The problem is, black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, we cannot mimic him. We cannot do what he do. You understand? Because we actually belong to the Lord. You understand? The Lord will punish us for that. Matter of fact, let's get there. Let's go to I think it's Amos 3:1. Yeah, let's get Amos 3:1 through 2.
This is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Hear this word, O children of Israel, every black, Hispanic, and Native American male. Good.
Against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt.
This is against all of us, you understand? This is the Lord is speaking to all of Israel, man, woman, and child. Good.
Saying, verse 2, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, you understand? So that means that, also, when you hear the scripture say, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, what does that sound like to you? When I say, you only have I known of all the children on the block, what do that mean? Yeah. You're the only one I know. You're the only one I'm dealing with, right? That's what that means. This is the same thing that the Lord is saying to every black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Right.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth. I'm not dealing with them. You understand? I'm not dealing with them the same way I deal with you. Keep going.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
And that's heavy right there. The Lord said, therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. You understand? Like, when we see that so-called white man selling dope and coke, and we see him being a homosexual, and we see him being a cheater, and we see him do all manners of wickedness, and it seems like he's prospering, when we imitate that and when we mimic that, we don't have the same results he has. We actually get punished. We actually get punished because the Lord knows us, man. The Lord knows us. The Lord is dealing with us. He's a great father. You see what I'm saying? If you have a child, you don't let your boy run free in the streets.
Right.
You correct him. You see what I'm saying? You raise him right. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got to know all the kids on the block, but you better know your son. You better know your child. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The Lord say, I'm going to punish you for all your iniquities. So when you try to sell coke and dope the same way that he do, you're going to get caught. You understand? When you be a homosexual, you're going to catch AIDS and die. You see what I'm saying? This is what the Lord is saying, man. And people make it seem like it's a hateful thing. It's not a hateful thing. It's the Lord being the perfect father. Because who are we as his children to disrespect him and feel like he has to bless us? You see what I'm saying? We say we can do whatever we want to. Yeah, I know he's my father, but I ain't got to listen to that, you know? Just imagine your son saying that about you. Yeah, that's my father, but I ain't gonna listen to that nigga, you feel me?
Right.
Like, who you think he is, you feel me? Like, he can say what he want to say, you feel me? I ain't doing it. Your father gonna say, okay. You know, you want to be for the streets, let the streets have you.
Right.
That's what a good father would say. You know why the good father is saying that? Because he understands. That good father understands that sometimes you gotta let that child go and get beat up in order for him to come back and serve you the way you want to be served, you understand? It's the same way with the Lord. The Lord would prefer for us to go out here and get our butts whooped for disrespecting him, you feel me? And then come back limping and bloody, and he patches up. But guess what happens when he patches us up? And we work out our differences. And you say, Salaki, Dad, you know, I want to be your son again. You see what I'm saying? I'm willing to listen to whatever you had for me. And the Lord, he said, you know what? We tawab. I mean, we good again. Everybody will touch you. Everybody who touched you in the streets, they gotta pay for that, man. The so-called white man gotta pay for every crime that he's committed against us, man. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to get away with it. He can't get away with it. If the Lord is going to punish us for our iniquities, do you not think he's going to punish them for what they've done to us? You see what I'm saying? But in our mind, that's not even fathom. Like, we can't even fathom that because we so used to being on the wrong side of the whipping stick. We so used to getting beat and punished. You see what I'm saying? That we don't even know what real justice feels like. That's real justice. Somebody being held accountable for things that they've done to you. You see what I'm saying? That's real justice. Like, if I harm any one of my brothers, guess what? I'm going to pay. If you go ahead and murder one of your brothers, guess what? You're going to go to jail. You go ahead and sell drugs, you're going to jail. You see what I'm saying? The so-called white man, he'll sell us drugs and he'll kill us, and guess what? Nothing's ever happened to him. Nothing's ever happened to him because he can't cast himself out. Satan can't cast out Satan, right? He's the man doing it and the man judging. Here's the thing, the Lord can, and the Lord will. And that's what we have to rest our head on, man. We got to rest our head on. Captain Kahan, he brought out a heavy point, you know. He said, the Lord will use a virus to show us a virus. You feel me? You know, I said, my man, like the Lord brought us out coronavirus. You feel me? The Lord, he plagued this earth with coronavirus, the entire earth with coronavirus. And all this shows you who the biggest virus was on the face of this earth, the so-called white man, right? You know what I mean? He exposed himself. That's the virus that we need to separate from. Austin just read that it said gather yourselves together. When you gather yourself together, that means you got to separate from something. We got to separate from him, man. You see how anal the so-called white man is with his 6 feet apart? You got to separate. You got to separate. Listen, we need to separate further than that from him. You understand? We have to use that same, we got to use that same level of discipline when it comes to separating from his kingdom, when it comes to separating from his ways, when it comes to separating from his ordinances. That's what the Lord's telling us, man. You know what I mean? When instead of saying, man, Thanksgiving, everybody off, you know, so and family gonna be together. I don't really celebrate it, but I'm gonna just go over there and get a plate. I mean, it's only food to me. Instead of making excuses like that, look at it the same way this so-called white man looks at this virus. You see what I'm saying? Separate from him because he is the virus. You understand? Like, we don't fear none of that stuff. We don't fear corona, but we don't fear none of it. You know why? Because we understand that it is the Lord who's going to give it to us. And if we get it, it's going to be the Lord that heals us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So how about we do what the Lord tell us to do? That's why we don't have that cup of trembling, but he does. Understand? Like that's where it's at. If I could, let me get Isaiah 31:3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 3. Now the Egyptians are men.
Now the Egyptians are men, you understand? These Americans over here, they're nothing more than men, you understand? These so-called lawmakers, they're nothing more than men. Go ahead.
And not God.
And not God. They don't have the power to do anything, you understand? They have the power over us that we give them. They are not God himself, you understand? They are nothing but mere men. Keep going.
And their horses, flesh, and not spirit.
And their horses are flesh and not spirit, meaning, like, they can be defeated, you understand? Like, we fear him because when we not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, we fear him because we know that the Lord is not with us.
Right.
The Lord is telling you this is a mortal man that you're afraid of. I mean, this man that you run scared of every day, he bleeds just like you are. This is the Lord pretty much telling us, people.
When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hopeth shall fall down, and they all shall fail together.
Listen, this is what the Lord is saying. We see this so-called white man's kingdom falling. We want to be brave, call ourselves being brave, and we want to go out here and save his kingdom. We want to go out here and try to revive his nation. The Lord is saying, guess what? I'm going to stretch out my hand. And he's definitely falling. But if you want to help him, guess what? You're going to fall too. This is what the Lord is saying, man. The Lord done told us to separate. The Lord done told us to come back to his laws, statutes, and commandments. But guess what? It's going to come a time because they are going to be destroyed. Their kingdom is going to fall by the hands of the Lord. But guess what? The Lord is saying, guess what? You know, if you want to be one with them, if you love them that much, come. If you love them that much, guess what? You're going to fall and you're going to suffer the same punishment that they suffer. Understand? This is what the Lord is saying. It is not our place to get out here on the front lines and go out here and march and ask this and try to breathe life into this kingdom. It's not our place, man. It's not what we should be doing as black people. What we should be doing as black people is getting into these scriptures, man. Coming to the Isupk and learning what the Lord requires of us as a nation, man. This kingdom is gone. Understand? Like years from now, when we look back on it and we rule it, we'll mark this down in history. That was the beginning of the end for them.
Right.
Understand? When they stormed that Capitol, man, that was the end for them was real soon. It was right around the corner. We're gonna remember this day. You understand? Live to remember it though. Go ahead, Alistair.
Good. And once we start seeing like massive suicide, because the oppressor can't take the pressure like we can take.
Good.
We're gonna start seeing a bunch of massive suicides coming. I feel it.
Yeah, because that's what they do. That's the spirit that's on them. You understand? Like, I think it was I forgot who said it. They said, "Have you noticed there hasn't been a mass shooting in a while?" Like the Lord didn't stifle the mass shootings by bringing our kids and putting them in the house. Coronavirus has saved so many. They keep talking about how many lives the coronavirus has taken. Do you know how many lives the coronavirus have saved? Because our kids are in the house learning virtually. They don't have that little crazy Edomite boy that he only has 6 friends, enough to play full court basketball with, you understand? And he feel like he's being bullied, and he come in there and he add a school out. You haven't heard about that in a while, right? That's because the Lord sent a plague. That plague was not meant for us, but if we want to be a part of this kingdom, guess what? We'll suffer it too. It's just that simple. We'll suffer the same thing that they suffer. If we want to save it, we want to be the hero for them. You understand? We got to realize the hand of the Lord in every situation, man. That's why I say his hand is stretched out. That's that angel. That's that angel got his hand stretched out over the cities. Understand? Letting that coronavirus. The Lord can at any time the Lord can say, tell that angel to put his sword away, and he put that sword back in his sheath, and all the murder cease. That's not what the Lord is doing right now. The Lord has not given that angel the order to put his sword back. Understand? And he's waving it right now. Understand? Like, so here's what we got to recognize. We got to understand that it is our duty. You understand? It is our absolute duty to come back to our power, man, and do exactly what the Lord say in order for us to build our nation and to build our kingdom. This kingdom is about to fall. Do not fall with it, you understand? Get in ISUPK while it's still time, man.
Yeah, right.
Come on and get into these scriptures and put your culture back on. Black man, black woman, black child, you understand? Become who the Lord wanted you to be in the first place. And with that, I want to say shalom. You understand? We're the ISUPK, coming out 1 West 125th Street. And I'm going to pass this class over to the precinct officer of 1,000 Alizar for reading the security announcements.
These are security announcements. For the ISUPK out of 1 West 125th Street under Commander General Yana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted like they are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she gets permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Type, which is a command. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew is pronounced Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whichever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, remind Akim and Agwafium to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Twitter, YouTube, for any further ISUPK events. We got the Passover, which is coming up, like the precinct officer brought out, April 24th. We got before that, we got Purim coming up, February 26th. You understand? If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf, all black. You understand? And with that, I say a mighty. We're going to give one courteous salute to the teacher, then the men of Israel, Barak, Amadi, Barak, Amadi Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakadah.
Yahweh Shem Yashab Rakadah.
And with that, Yasimata, with that, class dismissed.
Listen well to what I tell. No public can cause pain. Something that a rapper knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?